Today, I'm going to show you from start to finish how to make the Joe's Kansas City Smoked Salmon Salad. We have all of our components here for the beginning part of this that we're going to roast. So these are our black telecherry peppercorns. This is our secret ingredient. This is anise, pink peppercorns, and pecan peppers. And for those of you guys who follow us on Facebook, the first person to identify this ingredient will receive a free smoked salmon salad. We always want to work from our heartiest spices to our lightest spices. So we're going to start with our peppercorns here in the pan. These are going to take a little while. As this grows, as the rub grows, the temperature is going to grow as well. So then these items at the end will take a very short time. And then they just start to release their oils a little bit. That's really important to make sure they release all their oils and you get that fresh cracked pepper taste. So now that we have these toasted, in goes our secret ingredient. These are about the same size and hardness of the peppercorns. But since the peppercorns are a little warm, these are going to take just a little less time. And they will actually change in color. And then our next ingredient, which is the anise seed. And this will give you that licorice flavor. We have pink peppercorns are going in. And last but not least are these little pecan peppers. When they're roasted, they're going to turn brown. And that's when you know this rub is done. So I add them last, but I use them to let me know when this rub is finished roasting. You want to make sure you keep tossing these until the pan cools down, or you can move them into a cool pan to stop this process. But you don't want to let them sit because those lighter ingredients will actually burn if they just sit next to the pan. We want to make sure that these are cool so that we have a nice dusting spice that we can use. So while this is cooling, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the salmon and we'll break that salmon down into fillets so that we can get those on cure. Now, the same thing that holds true with cooking anything else, bigger pieces take longer than smaller pieces, also is true of how you cure things and how you smoke things. So when you look at the natural shape of this fish, we have the portion up here next to the head, which is a little oddly shaped. Then we have this beautiful center cut piece, and then we have the tail shape where it's winding down and it's also getting a little bit thinner. So right about this point right here where it starts to get thinner, I'm going to take this piece off. And we're going to keep this as our tail section, and this is going to take a little less time to smoke. Now we've got our beautiful center cut piece of salmon, and this is going to take quite a bit longer to smoke, probably 10 minutes longer, and we're going to keep that separate. And now we have a little head piece, which is going to cook somewhere in between the tail piece and the center cut piece. Now that we have these pieces, we want to talk a little bit about curing. And you know, curing is a real simple process where you use salt, sugar, a lot of times cure number 2 or pink salt. We don't use that here. We stick with an old traditional form of curing fish, which is kosher salt plus sugar, and that's really all it is. So we take our kosher salt and our sugar, and we just make sure that these are nice and mixed up. And what we want to do is just do a light dusting on all of our fillets. And you can see the good thing about using kosher salt is it won't melt. So you can keep an eye on what you're putting on and how much you're putting on. And with this curing process, you'll also find that while it's cured with salt, it's not salty at all. Now that we've taken our rub, we've let it cool down, we want to grind this. And we're going to go ahead and put this into a spice grinder. We also have a little pepper rub that we use here for a lot of different things. We add a little bit of that in, and then we're going to grind this up. You want to pulse this probably about 3 times and make sure that the peppercorns and our secret ingredient are small enough to fit and come out as a dust. And now we've got all of our toasted spices, and they're ground up into a rub. We're going to put those right in here. And then we're going to take and toss this together with our brown sugar. You want to make sure the brown sugar will tend to stay together. Rub it between your hands and make sure that it's all evenly dispersed between your rub. And we just want to make sure that we're giving it a good solid coating, but that it's not piled up on any specific place. As you can see, we have nice heavy smoke. We're just going to go middle of the rack. Turn on our timer. And we'll give a check at 20 minutes to see where we end up. Now we're gonna take our finished product, which is this smoked product, we're gonna turn this into a salad. Here in front of me, you see all the ingredients that we use. We have our salad mix, we have our smoked salmon that we break into chunks, we have a European cucumber, shredded carrots, pickled onions. We take all of our greens, we invert it onto our little platter, and then we take our salmon. We just try to go coast to coast across the top. We have cucumbers, our carrots, our pickled onions, and then we add a little tomato jam, and our croutons. And here at Oklahoma Joe's, we serve our dressings on the side. So this will be our finished product, Joe's Kansas City Smoked Salmon Salad with our house dressing.